The New York Times has entered the chat. Writer Zainab, columnist, has agreed with Prince Harry. And she said this: Prince Harry is right, and it's not just a matter of royal gossip. My family, I want to share with you that article that she wrote with evidence, my family, that indeed Harry is right. And it's not just a matter of royal gossip, really, my family. And this should spell doom to members of the royal family. The people believe in Harry. This should spell doom to William, Charles, Camilla, Kate Middleton. The lies they are feeding the public are unraveling. People are hearing and listening to Prince Harry tell his story. My family, please hear this article by Zainab. Please. Now, Zainab said this, that any close follower of the British media should not have been surprised that after Prince Harry fell in love with Meghan Markle, the biracial American actress, years of vitriolic, even racist coverage followed. My family, we all can recall, just 8 days into Harry's relationship with Meghan becoming public, Harry had to issue a statement condemning racism against his then girlfriend Meghan. Harry saw it, Meghan saw it, and my family, it is worth noting that even the members of parliament, the women members of parliament in the UK, also saw the racism. Yet UK media want to lie. Oh, we welcome Meghan Markle. What a bunch of lies. The UK media, were so racist towards Meghan Markle. My family, even Dan Wootton, who has long maintained that Meghan experienced no racism, said this in an article written for the Daily Mail, that members of the royal family should be whiter than white. And I'm quoting Dan Wootton's article for the Daily Mail. So my family, they can deny it all they want, but the fact is, Meghan did experience racism. Meghan was never ever welcomed into the royal family, into the farm, really. My family, please hear what Zainab had to say. Whipping hatred and spreading lies, including on issues far more consequential than a royal romance, is a specialty of Britain's atrocious but politically influential tabloids. My family, indeed, that is very much true. And just how she describes the UK press: atrocious, spreading lies, the liars, hate for profit, they whip hatred. That is what defines the UK tabloid media. That is who they are. Sadly, I wish the people in the UK could demand better, really. I wish they could demand better. Now, Zainab said this in an article for the New York Times, said this, that people like me, uninterested in celebrities, should not dismiss the brouhaha around Harry's memoir as mere celebrity tittle-tattle. He has made credible, even documented claims that his own family refused to stand up against their ugly, sustained attacks against Meghan. In other words, it appears that Britain's most revered institution, funded by tens of millions in taxpayer funds annually, plays ball with one of its most revolting institutions. At the very least, it seems clear by now where some senior members of the royal family position themselves in all of this? How they put themselves? They are working with the UK tabloid press. Remember, if I look it up, Charles hired the deputy editor of the Daily Mail, a tabloid that his own son blames for the loss of his child. As you all know, Meghan suffered a miscarriage. Charles hired the deputy editor there, my family, Tobin and Raya, to work for him, to work with him. My family, Charles wines and dines with people who participate in causing his own son so much pain and harm, really. It is so disgusting and very, very much sad. Now, Zeynep said this, that at the very least, it seems clear by now where some senior members of the royal family position themselves in all of this. Among those in attendance at a Christmas lunch in mid-December were Camilla, Britain's Queen Consort, Dame Judi Dench, Dame Maggie Smith, and some less luminous celebrities, including the acid-tongued columnist Jeremy Clarkson and the broadcaster and columnist Piers Morgan. Both Clarkson and Morgan have been among the foremost participants in the multi-year media evisceration of Camilla and King Charles' daughter-in-law Meghan. They have abused Meghan Markle so much, and clearly, we all know where it comes from. It comes from senior members of the royal family. Clarkson has prior ties to Camilla. His farm was featured in an edition of Country Life magazine that she guest edited. Just days after that Christmas lunch, I like that they are also seeing this. I like what they are saying. I like it so much. We must keep exposing where those insults from Clarkson came from. It came from the royal family. My family, please just hear this. Just days after that Christmas lunch, he blasted Meghan when he wrote in his column in The Sun, and I quote, "At night, I am unable to sleep as I lie there, grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when she is made to parade naked to the streets of every town in Britain while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her." The palace made no comment about that. Silence means complicity. Clarkson then publicly apologized, gave a non-apology, in my opinion, for the column after a fierce public outcry. As for Morgan, he has called Camilla a class act. More than a decade ago, when many in Britain were still resistant to her becoming a queen consort due to her adulterous affair with Charles, Morgan wrote in his Daily Mail column, and I quote, "I can't actually think of a single other woman in the world better suited or more suitably experienced to be queen." Piers Morgan wrote that, my family. Morgan wrote that. Now, Morgan quit his ITV morning show in a half in March 2021 after being roundly condemned for saying that he did not believe Meghan's claim to have been suicidal during her first pregnancy and that he would not believe her if she read me a weather report. He said it wasn't his first such diatribe about her, and it would not be his last. My family, on this issue, allow me to point out something very, very, important, really, my family, about all of this, really. Is that when Piers Morgan was confronted by Alex Bedford in Good Morning Britain, and he walked out, of the show, my family, it is worth noting that when he was uncomfortable to be confronted by Alex Bedford, he moved, he left. However, Piers Morgan does not believe that despite all the abuse that Meghan has faced, that Meghan had suicidal thoughts after all the abuse she endured. And after all the abuse she endured, Piers Morgan also can't stand that Harry left with Meghan Markle when they were in a toxic environment. He can't stand that Harry left with Meghan. He can't stand it one bit. My family. And yet when he was in a place whereby he was uncomfortable, he walked up and left. But he does not believe that Harry or Meghan have a right to do that. I just had to note that kindly. And my family, the article, reads that he said that Camilla soon demanded to know when I'll be back on television. That is what Piers Morgan said. So clearly, this person was on TV abusing Meghan Markle. Camilla is okay with it because she's the one taking the abuse, really. And right after Clarkson went to a party with Jeremy, with the Queen Consort, Camilla. Right after Clarkson went to a party with Camilla, let me repeat that, he proceeded to abuse Meghan right after. Same as Piers Morgan, who all have ties to Camilla. So it's clear where the abuse comes from. And the article reads that Clarkson and Morgan are just two players in a swarm of commentators and tabloids that are intimately tied to the royals they cover. And just before Queen Elizabeth II died, Charles hosted the Editor of the Sun, something the editor said was a regular occurrence. She wrote that he was always jovial and cheery with her, and Charles and Camilla recently hired the Daily Mail's longtime deputy editor as their communication secretary. What could Charles and Camilla think they're conveying by maintaining a camaraderie with a tabloid press that has behaved so noxiously to members of their own family, with articles that have been so ugly and even racist? In 2016, days after Harry and Meghan's relationship went public, the Daily Mail called Meghan, who as a child lived in Los Angeles, almost straight outta Compton, an allusion to the 80s hip-hop album and later movie. The Mail described her family's, picturesque Los Angeles neighborhood as gang-scarred. For years, royals have had to fend off tabloid attacks. But the vitriol that has been applied to Meghan and a double standard to which she has been subjected is palpable. My family. Once after avocado toast was served at a lunch she hosted, the Daily Mail ran a story with the headline, "How Meghan's favorite avocado snack, beloved of all millennials, is fueling human rights abuses, drought, and murder." The Daily Express similarly proclaimed Meghan Markle's beloved avocado linked to human rights abuse and drought, millennial shame. These same tabloids ran approving stories associating Prince William and Princess Kate with avocados, with no mention of human rights abuses. My family, Prince Harry said, "If you can't see why it's happening, then I can't help you." I am glad that writers like Zainab can see what we all see. can see the racism, can see the press abuse of Meghan Markle has been unjustified, completely unjustified, really. And I'm glad that they are talking and covering this, really. I'm happy about this 100%. And my family, now the article is that when Kate was seen holding her pregnancy bump, the Daily Mail says she did so tenderly. When Meghan did that, it was described as an act of vanity and virtue signaling that implied the rest of us barren Haridans deserve to burn alive in our cars, the article reads. My family, it was cruel for the Daily Mail to make such an accusation, trashing Meghan for just cradling a baby bump, my family. It was very, very bad, really. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. Meghan could not even have a peaceful pregnancy with Archie. And my family, one thing that I'm happy about is that people are taking note. The New York Times writer, Zeynep, has also taken note. And I'm glad that people are talking about this. People are covering this to see and make people understand, readers across the world, how unfair Meghan has been treated. No one deserves to endure this. No one should ever have to go through this. Nobody. And speaking of human rights abuses, the only one whose human rights have been violated constantly is both Meghan and Harry, especially Meghan Markle. Their right to privacy violated by the press. Their right to basic human dignity also violated by the press, by UK media, and also by the farm itself. My family, everybody has seen this, and it's not okay how Harry and Meghan have been treated. They have been put through hell. And I am glad that thanks to Harry speaking up, people are talking about this. People are speaking about this issue. It's important, really. My family, the article reads that most insidiously, Meghan has been portrayed as a threat to other royal family members, even the children. The Daily Express claimed that Meghan may have put Princess Charlotte's life at risk. How? By including at her wedding lilies of the valley, which should not be ingested. However, they were also used at the weddings of Kate and Princess Eugenie without disapprobation. No one complained about that. Nothing. No accusations. Nothing. But for the black woman, for Meghan, it was a problem. My family, open your eyes to the racism that Meghan has had to endure. It has been just wrong. Queen Elizabeth II was portrayed as Meghan's victim, especially after Harry and Meghan stepped down from the royal roles. The tabloids repeatedly claimed that Meghan had endangered the Queen's health. My family, after everything that Meghan has been through, really, they even lost a child. Meghan suffered from suicidal thoughts. They told Meghan there was no money for her. Then, how can the others who have the wealth, the power, the influence, how can they be Meghan's victims? Surely. Really, surely, come on. Seriously. This reeks of racism, of just how Meghan was poorly treated and blamed for everything. Harry has said that he pleaded with his family to publicly condemn this ugly campaign. But instead, Harry says in his book Spare, the couple were ordered to remain silent, even against outright lies. Never complain, never explain, was the royal motto. But the royal family is not always so complacent. When a plastic surgeon claimed on his Instagram account that Harry's sister-in-law, Kate, was receiving Botox, Kensington Palace officials issued an official condemnation and denial. They reportedly got at least one tabloid to take down a story claiming Kate was wearing hair extensions, but they can't condemn abuse. William and Kate issued a strong statement and threatened legal action against the magazine Tatler after it called Kate perilously thin. Swaths of passages the palace had reportedly objected to were deleted from the story, but jabs towards Meghan were left in place. Even less prominent members get explicit protection. Once, the palace defended Charles' brother, Prince Edward's use of a private jet instead of an available train. Harry has said that the royal family stayed quiet, silent about the media's abuse of his wife. Behind the scenes, it leaked, planted, or influenced stories with the worst elements of the royal rota. Representatives of news organizations that cover the palace in a preferential press pool in return for favorable coverage for themselves or distractions from their own brewing scandals. After telling only his immediate family about plans he and Meghan were making to travel or distance themselves from royal duties, Harry says in spare, those plans appeared in the tabloids attributed to unnamed sources. It is not just a matter of Harry's suspicions. The Daily Mail's columnist Dan Wootton has said, and I quote, much of the negativity towards the couple is coming from within the royal family. The royal family and staff of the royal family are the ones that are very often, leaking these stories to the press. Other prominent members in tweeting an early report of the rift between Harry and his kin. Richard Palmer of the Daily Express said the royal family and their advisors recognize the value of a symbiotic relationship in communicating with the public who pay for them. I'm not sure Harry does. Now, why did he say that? He said that because he meant that Harry should be engaging with them. Harry should be inviting them to parties. Harry should give them pictures of his children, of his child Archie, to the press. The same tabloid press that referred to Archie using the N-word. That just wasn't going to happen. That just was not going to happen. Now, one other journalist, Omid Scobie, claimed in an interview for an ITV documentary in 2021 that William was planting stories about his brother's mental health in the press. The station reportedly received a legal threat from William, so much for the policy of silence, and scrubbed Scobie's statement from the show. And also, Andrew Marr, a British journalist, a confessed fan of Queen Elizabeth II, says Harry's claims are important. After all, Marr said that it well, and I quote, either well-known journalists are making a lot of stuff up, just sitting at their laptops at the kitchen table, inventing the detail of feuds and private confrontations, or a particularly confidence-rotting form of anonymous briefings have been taking place. Maybe they could be part of an inquiry similar to the one after the phone hacking scandal by Rupert Murdoch's tabloids. This sort of royal relationship with the media is not new. Of course, in a BBC documentary, Charles' former press secretary said that William was furious that when he was 16, the Sun published the details of his first meeting with Camilla. The author of the story said the source was Mark Boland, Charles' deputy private secretary and PR advisor. It was all transactional. Sandy Henny, our former press secretary, said of Charles, when I joined his office in 1993, he was going through some pretty virulent criticism. Bad father, unloving husband, I think he was pretty hurt. She said Boland worked to change Charles' image. Leaking to the media was reportedly one way to curry favor. One way to curry favor. Leaking to the media was one way to curry favor. My family. Prince Harry said that, I would much rather be destroyed by the media than play this briefing game of leaking stories to the press or pitting his office against William. I vowed that William broke, that he would never pit his office against Harry in the future. I vowed that William broke, my family, because William has never ever respected Prince Harry. So my family, Harry refused to play the game. And I'm glad, really. I'm very, very happy about that 100%. Now, my family, Henny said of Boland that he is a brilliant manipulator. He got the result that he wanted. Boland was also accused of approving a News of the World article claiming a 16-year-old Harry had taken drugs in exchange for praise for Charles for taking Harry to a rehab center. Illustrated with what the tabloid said were photos of the visit. Harry writes that this 7-page tabloid spread left him sickened and horrified, and the photos were from an earlier official visit he had made to the center. Boland, later admitted the sequence of events were distorted to make Charles look better. The coverage after Diana's death spanned the portrayal of Charles, no more the unfaithful husband, as Harry puts it in his memoir. Power would now be presented to the world as a harried single dad. Charles would now be portrayed to the world as the harried single dad. They used Harry and then discarded him, my family. That's very much clear. Now, the writer of the article says that I think I have made the case that Harry and Meghan have gotten a raw deal. And I have not even mentioned that in response to all of this vitriol, would-be violent actors from the woodwork. Neil Basu, a high-level British law enforcement official, recently confirmed that Meghan received credible threats to her life, namely from the far right. Even so, shortly after they left Britain, Harry and Meghan had their official security pulled abruptly. Harry says in Spare that his father did not step up then to help pay for replacement, despite now reportedly planning shoulder to shoulder £3 million annually to provide security for his brother Andrew, accused of sexual exploitation of young women and girls, which he has denied after Andrew's official security ended, and whose £12 million settlement with an accuser was also reported to be partly paid by the Queen. The way the tabloid media can spread unhinged claims, generating a sense of urgent threat to create a social frenzy, can be used for targets other than a stray royal, my family. The writer is saying, today it's Meghan, today it's Harry. These unethical practices are being used against Harry and Meghan, but tomorrow it could be you. And during the run-up to the Brexit vote, among other outright big lies, UK tabloids screeched that thanks to a secret conspiracy being cooked up in Brussels, the European Union would allow hordes of Turks to invade Britain, commit crimes, have too many babies, and bankrupt the social services. Turkey is not even a member of the EU or the EU and is nowhere near becoming one. Brexit narrowly won, with damaging consequences still unfolding for Britain. My impression from Harry's memoir is that Harry wants to make a crusade of applying sunlight to corrupt media practices and his family's participation in them. If he succeeds in fighting the vile forces that he feels contributed to his mother's death and imperiled his newfound love, he might bring a greater sense of decency in Britain and maybe even curtail the power of the worst practices in media. Good luck to him. I loved this new article by Zeynep 100%, my family. Now I want to hear your opinion on this, Kylie. Inform me what you think about this, my family, but this opinion columnist was very, very thorough and did her research quite well. And that is what a researcher, a journalist should do. In the UK, that never ever happens, my family. So I like this from the New York Times 100%. Prince Harry is right. And it is not just a matter of royal gossip. One thing is clear, my family. Today it's Harry and Meghan that are the target. Tomorrow it could be you. And that's why we must fight these unethical, corrupt practices that shape the UK media, the government, and the royal family, and the police. It must be fought. The truth must be spread. And I'm happy that Harry has shared the truth. Charles used Harry all of his life to paint himself as the doting, single parent, to gain back his reputation after the passing of the late Diana. He used Prince Harry for his own gain, for his own means, and Harry could do nothing about it. He just had to take it. Harry gets blasted, Charles gets good press. My family, I think that tells you the type of person that Harry, has for a father, really. It's sad, really, but it's Charles. It's who he is. Not a good person, not a good father. He has never ever been a good father, never. He has only ever used Harry for his own gain. When Camilla marries Charles and sees how Charles gets good press by selling his own sons, then Camilla also feels like doing the same thing, selling Harry and William, and that's what she did to get good press. She leaked and briefed the UK media. That's the game. You leak and brief against your own family members, and yet, the UK media talks there about betrayal. Yet for them to get good press, these so-called family members to get good press, they have to leak against their own family member. So much for, betrayal, really. So much for that, really. Because my family is clear who betrayed who. And it's not Harry and Meghan. Harry and Meghan exposed the royal family. Exposed the individuals who abused them. That's William, Charles, Camilla, Kate Middleton. And I'm glad that Harry and Meghan have done that. I'm glad that Harry's memoir, people can just, research and get the facts. And Zainab did a very, very good job in getting the facts. Very, very good research, my family. I'll share with you the archived article for everyone to be able to read, my family. Now tell me what you think about all of this, kindly. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support our Evergreen family on YouTube. My family, God bless Harry, Meghan, Archie, and Lipedana and Dory Lagland. Hate won't win, love wins, my family. And the liars in the royal family and their trolls are being exposed to the entire world. And I love that 100%. Stay tuned to our next video. Love you always and forever. Hello, members of Zesco Family TV. First of all, I want to say thank you for all your support that you give us to our channel. We don't take it for granted that you support this channel. I want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts for lending out your support and fighting against injustices, supporting Prince Harry and Meghan, showing them love. Love will always triumph over evil, and for that I say thank you. Good will always prevail over bad. Thank you so much for all your support. Thank you so much for joining this community, this amazing community of Zesco Family TV. I love you so much, family, from the bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the best. May you have a great, great day. And I hope that you enjoyed this video and learned a lot of things. With that and so much more, stay tuned to our next video. Leave a comment below, like, and subscribe. Love you, family, always and forever. Sayonara.